you're just about to see a very interesting style of modern garden. Now, for instance, what does your front yard look like? Maybe it's one of those open sorts of front yards and people look in or whatever, and there's not a lot you can do with it. In some areas you can fence it off, and this is a classic example of a front yard that's fenced off. It's a dark sort of colour, charcoaly coloured brick, then you've got more a golden colour over here and so on, but it's a lovely enclosed courtyard. And here, there's a sort of quasi-Mediterranean garden. A lot of the actual fruiting plants here are miniatures, so there's miniature sort of peaches or nectarines or whatever. Apples, miniature apples, they do exist. There's ordinary sized olive trees, but I imagine the years ahead they'll be kept down. Citrus in tubs. This has a lovely feel to it. You might note there's sombre colours on the walls, particularly where they're grey-blue, but lots of silvery plants to bring up the lightness. Very light coloured paving there, the gravel. This really is a fun sort of a garden, but extremely useful. And you're thinking, now hang on, if they're growing all the fruit out the front, what did they do out the back? The garden at the back here sort of defies description. Broadly, when you look across it, I suppose you'd say it's sort of Mediterranean in feel, but then when you look to all sorts of other zones, it's got a modern Asian, a tropical Asian feel as well. And I suppose that's the lesson with today's gardens, is that there's that dreadful word eclectic. Eclectic means where you shove lots of stuff together that perhaps initially you think won't work, and sometimes it does. And I would argue very strongly that you think about eclectic. You know how inside you can mix some old antique furniture and modern furniture and all sorts of other bits together that years ago they said you couldn't do. If you had old antiques, they all had to match. You don't have to anymore. The same with out in the garden. So just have a look at this thing. Again, lots of this charcoaly sort of walls. Isn't this a lovely touch? Instead of just having a square wall, they've allowed a little plinth here in it where you can put something on it. Through many of these areas, glorious colours of foliage. This is a Melianthus, which is one of my favourites. Beautiful flowers and lovely foliage. This has a very Balinese, come whatever feel. And there's these little portals all around the place which are Javan, and they are just charming. They frame things. You'll notice you've got holes in the middle of that one so you can see through to the next section. The same over here. You've got a lovely framing here where you see through the next area of the garden. Lots of beautiful ground covers. Not a blade of grass in sight, which I must admit I really like sometimes. I just think grass is great, but sometimes you don't need it. Their kids are left home, so who cares? But this is a lovely, lovely feel. It's inviting. I was just wondering, Paul and Helen, who is the creative genius that's behind all this beautiful design?
God.
I think there's a little bit of both of us in it, and perhaps some creative friction might be terminology that we'd use.
That'd be true.
The multi-ethnic influences, does that reflect your travels?
Yeah, it does really. Yeah, whenever you travel, you know, you're always taking in ideas and seeing how other people live, and it always seems so exotic and exciting when you're away, so you tend to import ideas back with you.
And in effect, you've got a holiday feel through here.
Yeah, well, we've tried to make it relaxed and somewhere to sort of chill out from the stresses of the day.
Gardens are about relaxing. I really think they should be. Look at the structure up the back. You get a focal point to that from the house. This is the way you should think. And a whole series of little rooms. This is, I suppose, a general place for just relaxing on a sunny day when the sun's on you. It'd be glorious. There's other little zones for all sorts of uses, some of them more shaded. Dividing your backyard up like this is a fantastic idea, but this is a classic one. The colours, the walls, the colours of the plants, the textures, it doesn't get much better than this. It's just a beautiful garden to relax in. There's a lot you can learn from this garden.